how's fight week going for you? How do you feel entering this fight?
Yeah, it's smooth. This is like, I'm like, no radio roll, no grand entrance, no, what else? What else is there with the fall pay-per-view? No, all these interviews I still have to do. I mean, I got 1 hour of interviews, which is not bad at all, instead of 3 hours. It's been light, man. It's been, like, weird. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. This is what rest is all about. So, it's been really smooth, man. I'm very confident going into this fight. I had a tremendous training camp. I had a great training camp, man. I have to say, out of a lot of training camps that I've had over the past big fight, or for any fight, man, this is probably one of the best training camps that I've ever had. So, just putting the right pieces together, getting the right therapy, getting the right work, getting the right amount of running. It's been fantastic, and sparring, dude. It's been great.
After your last fight, against Manny Pacquiao, obviously your first defeat. What did you learn from that fight?
Well, you know what? I learned a lot in that fight, man. I learned that I can't get out of my element, dude, and that's the main thing. I got to stay with what works for me, and that's been very patient in the ring, using my skills, getting back to the basics, man. And what got me on top, man, is my IQ for the sport, my way in dominating fighters just by beating them mentally and physically both ways, but just my boxing ability, man. I learned that, going in that fight, trying to knock guys out, trying to be something I'm not, is not the way to go, man. Although I felt like I had to go in there and knock Manny Pacquiao to get a win, I look back at it and I just say, you know what, I fought the way I fought. It is what it is. I gotta live with this defeat, but maybe it would have been different if I would, boxed them and did the game plan.
Is that something difficult for you, to kind of come to that realization? Because it's pretty much 3 fights you've been fighting that way, and it's gotten you bigger and bigger fights. You won the previous 2 versus Provodnikov and Marquez, and then Pacquiao fight, you had that mentality where you're going to go in there, you're going to brawl, and you can knock these guys out. And it led to getting bigger fights. So now coming back to your previous style, is it something that you're worried about as far as getting those marquee fights?
No. I'm not worried about it at all, man. I just think that there's a lot of opportunities that come and go. At the right time, I'll be able to choose my opportunities. I think this is one of those fights that's like it's a crossroads fight for me because I'm doomed if I lose, and I win. If I win, it could open up big fights, and there's a big possibility that it can open up a big fight. So you never know in this boxing game, but the main thing is getting back in the winning column for me. And getting my title back. That's my main focus right now.
Talking about that title, it seems as Manny Pacquiao is going to move back down to 140, so he probably vacate that title. Is that the way you kind of want to get it back? Does it matter how you get it back, or do you want to defeat him and show people, like, okay, I'm taking my title back?
Oh, of course. I love to. I've never fought for a vacant world championship ever in my career. I've always took it from the champion. And, of course, I would love to fight Manny Pacquiao again for the 3rd time. But, he's got his own job he's doing and things that he's planning on doing. So if that belt becomes vacant, then I'll fight somebody that's worthy of that championship, and we'll go at it like a Marquez rematch or something like that.
Definitely. What is it like for you fighting fighters twice? The second time in the ring against Manny Pacquiao, what did that feel like? Is it like you had an advantage? Was it a disadvantage? How do you face rematches?
It's actually an advantage, man. Because I know the fighters. The second time around, I was hitting Manny more. I was catching my counter punches more and things like that. I got injured early in that fight, but for the most part, I thought I was very successful early on in the fight. Man, I thought I was doing very good, very well in the fight, and Manny Pacquiao is just one of those tough opponents, man. He's always there. He's in tip-top shape, always. Just he's very tenacious and just, man, he's so durable, man. He's one hell of an athlete, man. So. He smelled blood, and he was able to, dominate me the second half of the fight. Come out with a victory. I thought I fought a really courageous fight in fighting Manny Pacquiao. But second time around, I did him a lot more than I did in the first fight.
Can you elaborate on that injury? Because, like you said, those first 6 rounds were so different than the second 6 rounds. Everyone saw it too. Like, it was such a close fight. It was a dynamic fight. People saw your
Yeah.
talent. You guys were equal those first 6 rounds, and then the second six was just different. Was that because of the injury? And can you say like how much it affected you?
Well, I think what happened was I think the injury definitely played a big part in it. But I was winging a lot of big shots trying to knock this guy out, and I was missing a lot. As a fighter, the fighter knows that when he misses shots, that takes a lot of wind out of you. You have to be very intense in the ring and be focused at all times, and that took a toll on me too. So I just think that Manny Pacquiao that night was just a better fighter, man. And I suffered an injury. I suffered a torn gastroc in the second round of the fight, and I tore it actually in two places horizontally. They're really bad. It wasn't like it was torn, but it wasn't like completely torn. I didn't really want to show Manny I was injured, but
Yeah.
he felt because he's so experienced. He felt that I had let off the gas,
And he took advantage of that.
and he turned it up on me.
Definitely. Would you say you're 100% now coming into this fight?
Yeah, I'm 100%. Man, it's just trying to build the leg back up, getting used to bouncing again, getting used to moving around the ring, and now it's just like I don't even think about my calf anymore when I step foot in the ring.
How do you feel you match up against Chaves? How does Chaves match up more so against you, I guess, being the more experienced fighter? Where do you see that you have the advantage entering this fight?
Well, I have big fight experience over Chaves. Chaves, he hasn't been really, besides Keith Thurman, tough fighter. But that's been his toughest opponent, I think. You got Brandon Rios, who's tough as well, but Chaves fought a really, dirty style of fight, practice in that fight. So, I think he matches it well because he's like I said, he's heavy-handed. He has punching power, he has good speed and skill. But I've seen a fighter that just comes and brawls. He thinks about his approach, so he's a little bit more clever in the ring than like a Madonna or like a Matisse. Yeah, he's a little bit more clever, I think, than they are.
And you mentioned Maidana. Like, to me, him and Chaves have similar styles where if, you get ahead of them on the cards, they start losing their cool a little bit. There might be a little bit of dirty boxing and a couple cheap shots here and there. Is that something in your mind when you enter a fight like this?
Well, it's a fight, man, and I expect a tough fight, especially from a guy like Chaves who always brings intensity. So I'm durable, man, and I'm one of the fighters that I'll figure it out in there, and I can protect myself.
When do you expect to fight again?
I don't know. I'm not even sure, man. I'm getting ready. My wife is actually pregnant as we speak right now. We're gonna be having a baby. Well, she's gonna be having a baby in March. So I don't want to fight any time before then, and I'll probably wait a few months after. So I'll still be back in the ring maybe sometime in June.
Okay. And, June or later, a lot of HBO fighters have their eye out on Canelo, him now being available to fight kind of, top rank opponents. Is that something you're looking at? Is that a task that you'd be willing to take on and a fighter that's on your radar?
Let's go, man. And bring it, man. And I'm talking from 140, 147, 154. I mean, those three weight classes right there. Don't bring it, man. I'm willing to game for any of those guys, man. I want to fight the best fighters in the world.